Hello, boys and girls. I have a special treat for you all today. So, we're going to talk about why your income does not matter because you can still save money. Now, I do understand that it is very difficult to save if you only make 20 grand a year, correct? Yes, it's very difficult. However, it is still possible. And of course, if you make more money, the better you are off in comparison to other people. So if you make 40 grand a year, you're better off than a person who makes 20. That is very true. So let's get to it. Next slide, please. Let's start off with a fun fact. People do not live within their means. Instead, they get second and third jobs to fund their lifestyle. And trust me, I can vouch for this. I had, before the pandemic, before COVID, I had 3 jobs. One of them was working for Uber. Another side job, and I had my main job that I worked from home. So I actually had plenty of time to devote to all these different gigs, right? Okay, when the pandemic hit, I had to stop 2 of those jobs because I did not want it to affect my mother, who is elderly. So I was living off one income during the pandemic. And what I realized and what I've learned from that experience is I don't need 2 and 3 jobs. Although the money was great, I tell you, the money was awesome. But forcing myself to stay home and not go out, not spending the money on gas, not buying food, all of that added up. And I was able to live comfortably on one income just by staying home. Yeah, it's not fun, but hey, if you're poor and you want to get ahead, stay home. Go out less, and your money will still be in your wallet when you come back to it. So, this brings us to our next topic. Do you have to buy coffee? And I already know a few of you are saying, yes, I do. But you can always make coffee at home. Make the coffee at home. Don't go out and spend $2 or $3 every other day on coffee. As most Americans, adults 18 and older, spend around roughly about $1,000 a year on coffee. So if you think about that, well, what can I do with an extra $1,000 in my pocket? What can $1,000 get you? Can you pay off your credit card debt? Maybe. You can contribute, maybe you can invest. You can do something more than what you're already doing, is the point that I'm trying to make. So, what you should do is make your coffee at home, buy an insulated can or bottle. I'll put the link in the description box for the one that I have, and it costs $50, but it's actually worth the money. So if you put a cold drink into the insulated can, it is cold until morning. If you put a hot drink into the can, it is still warm, very warm, the very next morning. So I would make my coffee at night, wake up, drink my coffee, and go about my day. That I don't have to go down to McDonald's and buy those mocha frappes with no cream. Best thing ever. But I wanted to save money, correct? No more coffee. And if we all are in agreement, it's not really coffee. I've been told it's a glorified milkshake. That's what I've been told. I still disagree. But anyway, I make my coffee at home now, so it doesn't matter. Ooh, what else can I say? Not very much. So, like I said, you can pay off your credit card bill. You can invest that money as well. Maybe you can put it towards your emergency savings. Either or. Next slide. So, ask yourself, do you have to buy a new video game system? Now, I think we all, at this point in our lives, do need video games. Okay, that's not a problem. But the brand new one that's coming out, the PS5, and I guess in a couple of years we're going to have a PS6. And then too, you got to think about it. I think PlayStation is just recycling their old games and adding a few new ones and new features and whatnot going on. They're just recycling old games, but they're still making money. They're not coming out with anything new. But that's not really the point. The point that I'm trying to make is that it costs about $500 to go down in GameStop or more, for $500 or more to buy a new system. Okay, we know that. Those same people will talk to me and they turn around and say, yeah, I can't afford health insurance. I can't afford dental insurance. Okay, but if you took that $500 and not buy a new system, keep your PS4, and you take that $500, spread it out for over a year, you have enough money to be covered. I sat down and did the math. It's true. You'll be covered. So, video game system that's brand new or health insurance. I think I would choose the health insurance. So, next slide, please. Okay. Now, this is a semi-tricky one. Do you want to go shopping or do you need to go shopping? And, both might be true. Both might be true. I am guilty of this myself. I spend on average about $150 whenever I go shopping. Now, granted, I go to Ross, so I get more clothing than I would if I'm going to a boutique or someplace in a mall. But I know that I spend too much money on clothing because I have a closet full of clothes. But I still buy clothes. I could save that $150 and put it towards something else. Not many people have an emergency fund, and that $150 that I spend every other month or week can go into my emergency fund. Or I could afford something that's just more needed. Maybe I'll put it towards, you have to put it towards something. Help me out here, people. Help me out. You need to buy a new printer? Okay, you have $150. You can go buy yourself a printer. You don't have to buy clothes with it. That's what I'm trying to say. It may not be a major change, but it's just enough. And trust me, it all adds up. But to be nice, I will make an exception for anyone that has to buy work clothes or clothes for a special occasion. And now, if you don't have any clothes and you need clothes, please go out and buy clothes. But I'm talking to the people who have enough clothing and they still buy more. That's the crowd I'm talking to. You know who you are. Okay, now how about a used car? You only need a car to get from point A to point B. Stop making monthly payments on expensive and leased cars. My car cost me about $8,000 cash. My mom helped me pay for it. To be fair, she helped me pay for it, but I was saving up for it anyway, so I paid half. Most people can't do that, and I understand that. However, it is overall, in my opinion, I think it's better to buy a used car. That way you don't have monthly payments. That's the killer, the monthly payments. Plus the insurance, don't forget that. Those are monthly bills that you're going to keep adding. And you have to have insurance if you have a car. I do not want to have a monthly payment and pay for the insurance. It's way too much money. Now, if you are the type of person to say, hey, I don't want a used car for whatever logical reasoning, I need a lease car for this reason, okay, fine. Go get yourself a lease car if you have to. My best friend and I argue about this all the time. And she likes having a lease car. That's her preference. She can afford it. Fine. I do not. I am too lazy. I want to know that I own my car. It can get scratched. It can get dented. Not a big deal. It's a used car. I'm not upset about it. As long as it works and then no one, rams into my car, I'm okay. Now, to be fair, I do think that we shouldn't focus on buying an expensive car. So for an $80,000 Cadillac, it can stay on the lot. Get yourself a reasonably priced Toyota, Nissan, whatever. Something within reason. You'll save a lot more money. And remember, if you get into an accident or someone wants to key your car or you run into a pole, whatever, that car done just lost its value after going through the abuse that we put our cars through. And you're going to park it on the street. You can't just get hit by anyone. I had a neighbor to scratch my car one time. Don't ask me why. I don't even know. But I actually saw her do it. So don't spend so much money on these cars, especially if you're a young person. Now, if you're older and you have a little money, you have a good cushion, and you want to get a nicer car, nothing wrong with that. But if you're like 19, 20 years old, or even 25, you don't go out for the most expensive car. It's not worth it. Just get something that gets you from point A to point B. Buckle down in your 20s, buckle down in your 30s, and be happier when you're older. Next slide, please. Okay. Do you ask yourself, did you really need that iPhone? Me and my best friend really go all out about this one. We argue about this a lot. For some reason, she has an iPhone, and she was telling me that she makes monthly payments. She spent about $40 a month on her phone. Actually, she spends a lot more. Statistically, people spend around $40 a month just to buy the iPhone. Okay, for me, every 1 to 2 years, I spend at least $170 on a new cell phone altogether. $170. The iPhone costs nearly $1,000. Oh, I have no idea why. But those same people who are buying those phones at least the people that I know, they come to me and they tell me, yeah, I haven't been to the dinners in 5 or 10 years. And I said, what? You have to go to the dentist. Trust me, those root canals are expensive. I had a few root canals. They are expensive. If you don't have insurance, you're gonna spend about $5,000 to $6,000 or more on root canals, and that's just one tooth. That's not your whole mouth. That's one tooth. So when you're 25 and that tooth starts hurting, you think about that iPhone the next time you want to talk. Go up to the dentist and start making a deal. Go get insurance before you get an iPhone. So, what can you do? What can I do? How can I change? Well, you got to think outside the box. Here's one thing that I did was I watched television shows about extreme cheapskates and extreme couponers. Now, granted, they're extreme. No one wants extreme. No one likes extreme. But just take a few tips and apply it to your life. That's all you have to do. Make simple changes to your own life, and you would just be happier overall. You would have more money, and you could use that money, their savings, to invest, to put into an emergency fund, to pay for that unexpected car breakdown. But you have to save the money. When you get a coupon, as a matter of fact, that brings us to our next slide. When you have a coupon, buy one, get one free, you get $2 off, you take that money and you save it. You can use it for whatever you need to, but you have to save it. So every time you go to the grocery store and there's a sale, you're supposed to take that money out of your wallet, add up your savings, that's $7, take it and put it away. Put it into an envelope and hide your money from yourself. And do not touch it. One other tip is to save money. If you really are bad at hiding money from yourself, like I was when I was younger, get yourself a bank account that's not in your immediate area. So yes, go to a different neighborhood, open a savings account, put your savings into that account. So that way, if you are in downtown San Francisco, for example, and you said, hey, I really want to buy this jacket. Oh, well, you know what? You're going to have to drive all the way to Daly City, for example. And are you really going to do that? You got to drive all the way to Daly City just to go back to go buy that jacket? If you do, you deserve it. But chances are you're not going to go out of your way to spend money on the jacket. Hopefully. That's the thought behind that. That's just a tip. Take it or leave it. Okay. I have a little challenge for you guys. A tip, an extra tip, right? So let's combine everything that we've learned with drinking coffee from home for a year. You could save at least $1,000 or more. Or you can use that money to invest it into a small business. You can invest it into stocks, cryptocurrency, gold, silver. You see where I'm going with this? This is how you save money. Now, I'd rather invest my money than give it away to Starbucks every week. But that's just me. Well, I guess in my case, it would be McDonald's because I like their mocha frappes. And honestly, it's been worth it. I no longer drink their coffees. I drink from home. And I'm actually pretty fine with that. And to be fair, I have gone back and I have when I did have drinking. Yeah, okay, I'm guilty. I probably had a few this year, but not every other day like I was before. Also, try to spend 6 months to a year learning how to invest. Watch YouTube videos, talk to brokerage companies, brokers, learn how to save money, learn financial terms. And again, this is why your income, to some degree at least, does not matter. You can still save. Now, if you are a person who tells me, hey, Jessica, I'm already doing all of these things. Okay, well, I'll try to come up with more content later for just you because I'm not there yet. I'm going to try to get something for everyone. Next slide, please. Pro tip. And this is kind of tricky because I understand it. Nobody wants to be alone. I'm fine with being a loner, but it's not for everyone. I understand that. But please take into consideration if your friends do not have the same mindset and discipline to save money, you need new friends. The people around you will affect your habits. And yes, the old saying is true, birds of a feather do flock together. So if you're the one who wants to make positive changes in your life and you want to go somewhere and you want to do something more than just whatever everyone else is doing around you, you have to make that change. And part of change is changing the people you hang around. I had to. It's not fun, but when I look around, it's worth it. And maybe I just sound jaded, but you have to get new friends. Get friends who are talking about investing. Find friends who are talking about something more important. If you want to learn how to invest in gold and silver bars, talk to people who are on that level, who are doing that. If you want to save money, ask people how to save money. Ask your elders. And honestly, people just tell you to put it under the mattress. Yes, okay, you put it under the mattress, but you can invest half of it later. That's a different story. So, everyone, you need at least $5,000 or more set aside for an emergency fund. And if all you can save is $1,000 after 3 years of trying, that's okay too. At one point in my life, I couldn't save I couldn't even get over $4,000. I had my car would break down. I had another emergency after on top of that. Yeah, life takes a toll. And luckily I had somewhat of a savings, right? Because I had my 3 jobs, so I was able to save. And I was able to save a hell of a lot more when I stopped working. When I stayed home and just had my one job. So keep trying. And always put something away. Just something. So I have a homework assignment for you all. Yes, because we love homework. So anyway, hopefully this will be fun for you. This is an assignment. I called it What a Waste. I actually made a worksheet, but I couldn't insert it into the slide. So you guys are going to have to make your own worksheet. At least make a table. That's what I would say. Go to Microsoft Word or Pages if you have a Mac and make a table for yourself. Or you can just write it out on paper, however you want to do it. I'm going to have a lot more content for you all, but let's get to this assignment. So step 1, make a list of everything you need to live. Not what you want, everything you need to live off of. Step 2, make a list of 10 or more items you have wasted money on in the last 2 years. Step 3, choose 3 to 5 things to not buy for the rest of the year and include how much you would usually buy on those things. And therefore, you're going to put that money to the side. So every time you avoid something on your list, take that money you would normally spend on it and put it away, and do not take it out. Do not use it. Try your very best to not use it at all. Now, if your car breaks down and you have to get into it, fine. But don't take the money out to go shopping. Don't take it out for that iPhone. You don't need it. This way, saving money becomes a little easier. So, step 5. I'm a reasonable person. Like I said earlier, work clothes, special occasion, or interview clothes are excluded. And the goal for this assignment is just to help you find simple ways to save money. So thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found this video very helpful. Please feel free to share your findings in the comments if you like. But either way, thank you all so much. I will be back with more content and more helpful tips. Thank you all. Bye.